Hi everyone, this is my new setup, and I'd like to take a moment to explain a little bit about it. It's got some key features here that I'd like to explain before giving a demonstration. One of the things I have here is the transistor I'm using is a Darlington pair, a 120 TIP. I've chosen to use the light bulb, though I can't get it to light, but I'm going to leave it in the circuit. I'm using the relay here to help reduce the amp draw on the unit, and of course just the general Bedini setup. My rotor here is from a Radio Shack solar panel kit that you can pick up for about 20 bucks. It gives you the motor, which I'm using as the part of the rotor. This was one of the discs that came with it. On here, taped and glued, are a stack of 3 neodymium button magnets, and it's got an adequate gap between that and the iron core. I have a 5K potentiometer here, and off to the side you're going to see a battery, and that battery is traced to a push button that allows the unit to self-start. And there are more things about this little setup. These white leads here can also be disconnected from our push start, and we can use the generating ability of this magnet motor. It doesn't produce a lot of voltage, maybe about a little more than half a volt, and maybe up to 80 milliamps. But you might find a use for it. You could maybe hook this up to an electrolyzer or something like that and run it off, run an electrolyzer off that amount of power. And the amp draw on this is considerably low, about 25 milliamps. And so it should be adequate to be run on solar power. So now that you've got a rundown of the entire unit, I'm going to set up another video where I'm going to do some demonstrations to show you some numbers. Okay, here I'm going to do a demonstration of a self-start. I've chosen to use just one AA battery, or nickel metal hydride battery. It's not strong enough to overcome the magnetic pull on the rotor here, so if you're going to do something similar to the setup I've used, just angle it this way and push, and away she goes. Release, and the Bedini is now running off of the momentum I've given it. And there's our neon. I don't know if you can see that very well. I'm going to see if I can increase the resistance so I can try to set, see how it goes. So I have it running a little bit, and then I can really push it to that point where we're really pumping out the voltage. There we go. Okay, I have the unit hooked up to the charging battery, negative and positive, going to the negative and positive probes on my multimeter. I'm set on the voltage setting at the moment, so we're going to get a look at what this thing can do with the potentiometer push all the way back. So it's going to be very, very low voltage, but we're going to increase the resistance and see what we get. So I do a little self-start. The unit's going. So now we're at about 4 volts. It was up there when I pressed the motor, but running by itself, I noticed it might stay at full speed up to about 3.9 volts, just shy of 4 volts. So now that we know that we're getting very little voltage, nothing, just about barely anything to charge even maybe one AA battery. But oddly enough, if we look at the neon, I don't know if the cameras are going to show it or not, it is blinking. Well, that neon is blinking, so at least from there you know you're getting at least 90 volts starting. But nonetheless, let's start to increase the potentiometer. So as I increase, and all of a sudden you see how it jumped up? Look at the neon now. Back it off. Boom. Now here's the odd thing, it's gone into self-oscillation at the moment, so that neon's still blazing and the rotor's not going. If I hook up a charging battery, this will still go. So let's back it off again a little bit till it, there we go. And let's check out what its milliamp pull is at the when the neon is just flashing, and then when it turns really bright. Let's take a look what we got. Now, do a self-start, shall we? So self-starting should run on its own because it's not going to go self-oscillating. So we're going to switch it over to milliamps. What do we get? Okay, so it likes to run around 23 milliamps. Okay, so let's now increase. So now we're at 21. Let's switch over to voltage, see what we got. Yeah, 41 volt spikes. Not bad. Back to milliamps. Well, the rotor kind of slowed down, but now that I've switched to milliamps, it's going to start speeding up again. So it'll let us know what we're at. But not bad. Not bad at all. Still going, and to charge at 41 volts, this is turning out to be quite a good little unit. I'm going to try and hook it up so you can see what's coming off of the generator part if anyone's interested in that. Okay, I have my charge batteries hooked up, and just something I wanted to show. Behind there, you might see a little horseshoe-shaped wire. That's how I'm connecting and disconnecting the generator part to the self-starter part of the circuit. Okay, the potentiometer is all the way down at the moment to its lowest resistance. So voltage-wise, we're picking up 0.552, just slightly above half a volt. Not very impressive, but it's still power. Switch it to milliamps real quick. About 70 milliamps. You do this, and here we go. Looking at the rotor, it is slowing down. It's gonna stall. So I'll switch it over to volts. No, not quick enough. Oh well. So I can increase the resistance. It will run. No, doesn't like it. Again, I guess this is down to the individual experimenter, what they want to do with it. I suppose what could be done is you can, from these power leads coming from the motor itself, maybe you can put like a rheostat or something like that and adjust the amperage coming off of the magnet motor, and that way you can tune the sweet spot there, and so you can run something else off to the side without stalling the motor. But I haven't gotten that far, but I just want to show the potential of what this can do, considering the fact that it was unintentional. I just used this whole thing, part of this motor as a way to make a good rotor, a good stable, well-balanced rotor. So it was just dawned on me later that, hey, I can use the wires coming off of it to self-start, and then I also thought, well, geez, I can also use it as power since it's being spun down here rather than through these wires. So of course I started doing experimenting, and Lid Motor kind of turned me on to this idea as well. So I just wanted to play around with it, and this is my version and what I can do with it. So I hope people find this useful and educational. Alright, thank you.